Hi, it's Robin Sharma, author of The Leader Who Had No Title, founder of the Titan Academy, and welcome to this mastery session. This one is called Potent Productivity Practices While Traveling. I get this question all the time from our clients. Robin, I want to stay fit, but when I get on the road, it all falls apart. Robin, I want to run the routines you've taught me for exponential productivity or optimization, and yet when I travel, I lose my energy, I get off my eating plan, etc., etc. And so what I want to do is be super granular, super tactical in this productivity session and walk you through a number of the practices that have worked really, really well for me. I've traveled very intensely for the past 20 years, and there are certain things that I've done that are quite unorthodox, but they have allowed me to really stay on my game, not only on trips and speaking tours, but really over many, many years of teaching people how to become leaders and how to really use their lives to play at world class. And the first one is simply this: see plane time as game time. A lot of people get on airplanes and they feel discouraged. Oh, I've got a 5-hour flight. What am I going to do? I want you to install the idea that plane time is game time. I mean, if you have a 10-hour flight, to me, that is magical. I mean, see that as you getting 10 hours to do the greatest work of your lifetime. See that as 10 hours to refuel, 10 hours to plan, 10 hours to think, 10 hours to create. The other day I was on a plane flight from Los Angeles to Toronto, and I was just looking around the cabin, and it was fascinating to watch people's behavior. I mean, you look at a lot of people, I mean, let's say the B players or the C players, and they blame their circumstances for their performance. And then look at the A players and they say, well, I guess they're cut from a different cloth. I guess they just got lucky. And yet, the quote-unquote secret of high performance is less about genetics and more about your practice. It's less about being born into the right family and more about your rituals and your routines. And I was just watching people's behavior on this flight. It was a 5-hour flight. And most people ate the nuts. And the alcohol tray came down and they started drinking the wine and the spirits. And then the food came, the first course, and then the second course. And then on this flight, it was an Air Canada flight, they serve fresh cookies and ice cream. So people start eating the fresh cookies and ice cream. And it just went on. And people got more and more tired. And you could sort of feel the energy going lower and lower. And by the time people got off the flight, some of them were purely exhausted. They had entered the realm of the living dead. And I'm saying that, jokingly and kind-heartedly, but it's true. You just watch people on airplanes, and what could be game time on an airplane, they use as a time to deplete their energy. And so I want to share with you on this first insight, which is use your plane time as game time, some of the things that I do. Number one, I super hydrate myself. So when the drink tray comes and they say, what would you like to drink? For me, it's all about water with lemon. And that cleanses my system. It keeps me very, very focused. It prevents hydration, which fuels my creativity and my focus. Another thing I do, when they bring out the nuts, I say no to the nuts. When they bring out the chocolate chip cookies, yes, I wanted to have it, but I say no. When the tray might have dessert on your tray after the entree, I take the ketchup or I take the salt. I'm just letting you in under the kimono here. And I take the salt or the ketchup and I put it all over my dessert so I just can't eat it. When nonstop there's distraction, I put my head down and they can see that I'm focused. So I drink a lot of water. I don't touch the nuts. I don't touch the dessert. When they say, would you like headphones? I say, no, thank you. And here's another thing. From the moment I get on the plane, I pull out my journal or I pull out my work so I get into a zone so I'm not even attracted to the entertainment. I mean, for all the years I'm flying, I watch so little movies. I mean, maybe sometimes I do. So if you see me on a plane, maybe it's at the end of a 3-week tour. So I give myself permission to recover and rest. But I have watched so few movies on airplanes. I don't participate in entertainment because you know, victims love entertainment, leaders love education. Ordinary people, and I'm not saying I'm so special, but you know what I'm saying. The ordinary producer loves leisure. The iconic producer loves learning. And so those 5 or 10 hours, I protect them to make sure I do my best work. The idea, use your plane time to do your best work. Number 2, another unorthodox idea, upgrade your hotel room. I'm going to encourage you to invest the money in buying or renting or leveraging or booking amazing hotel rooms. If you go to Rome or you go to Paris or you go to Panama or you go to Buenos Aires or you go to Shanghai or you go to Mumbai or you go to Stockholm, stay at the best hotel and stay in the best possible room you can afford. Here's why. It'll actually make you money. I learned from Warren Buffett, focus on the value, not on the cost. I learned from Saatchi, quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. You see ordinary people, oh, I need to be really, really cheap, and they get the cheapest room, so they don't sleep well, and they're not inspired, so they don't have any ideas, and so they're off their game the next day. If you stay in a beautiful hotel room, you will get million-dollar ideas that will allow you to change the game in your industry. You will show up at your business meeting the next day a force of nature, and your confidence will breed success. If you stay in a gorgeous hotel room, you might pull out a piece of paper that will allow you to articulate your 25-year vision that will allow you to multiply your mindset, creativity, performance, ingenuity, audacity, and humanity. I have got my best ideas. I've shot my best videos. I've written my best blog posts. I've written the best chapters of my best books in beautiful hotel rooms. Yes, they cost money, but it pays for the return on investment in multiples. Number 3, hire a trainer in advance of your trip. So many times people say, Robin, I was in really good shape, but then I got onto the road and I had a whole bunch of meetings and I was traveling for weeks and my fitness regime fell apart. Well, you know that exercise is a game changer. So I call this the forced optimization strategy. And what you do is you have your teammate book a trainer, maybe it's 5 days a week at 6 o'clock while you're traveling. Now, if you're suffering from jet lag, no problem, take the rest or whatever. But this strategy alone will help you stay uber productive on the road. What you do is you book trainers for your trip in advance of your trip. And it's already locked in. And you even book your massages. And so that way you look at your daily schedule, everything's booked. It gives you the incentive, the motivation to work out with a trainer. And you know this, the way you feel before a workout is not the way you feel after a workout. I'm going to repeat that again because it's so important. The way you feel before a workout on the road is not the way you feel after a workout. And so just because you've scheduled and paid for a trainer, you do this workout, you will feel amazing on the road. And if you do that every day for an entire week, just imagine how productive, how happy, how creative you'll be on the road. And then the final thing I'll leave you with in terms of the potent productivity practices while traveling, I call these the 3 Energizers. Before I get on any speaking tour, before I take any trip, I ask myself I make a commitment to do these 3 things, which I find energize my creativity, energize my productivity, and really make the trip beautiful and fun. Number 1, I commit to having a great meal. So I find, I do some advanced research and I find out, where is a place I can have simple food, beautifully prepared in an inspiring room with great service. And then I find that restaurant and I have no problem eating. My teammates often travel with me, but sometimes I travel alone. I have no problem going out, having a meal in solitude, but just enjoying a great meal. The second Energizer when I'm on the road, I commit to finding great art. Maybe it's a great gallery, maybe it's a great architectural site, but that is my second energizer while I travel. And my third commitment in terms of energizing myself on the road, I commit to having one unforgettable conversation. So it might be with a taxi driver, it might be with a chef, it might be with a stranger in the community of the foreign land that I'm visiting. But I make a commitment. And when you make a commitment, then your brain starts to look for ways to deliver on your commitment. And I find those three things, having a great meal, finding some great art, and just meeting a fascinating person in this new city, leaves your traveling absolutely unforgettable. So I hope these practices that I use, I know some of them are a little unorthodox, I hope they've been of service to you. I hope they make you think. I hope you apply them. And I hope they allow you to use travel time as the time to really lift your game to a whole new level of wow. Thanks for being with me on this mastery session. Hi, it's Robin. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and definitely go over to robinsharma.com for more information, tools, and resources on mastery, elite performance, and living a world-class life.